Hello, good morning. My name is Jocelyn Abiana, and I will present the history of table tennis and its timeline. Now, let us talk about the history of table tennis. Like many other sports, table tennis began as a mild social diversion. It was probably played with improvised equipment in England. During the last quarter of the 19th century, though table tennis evolved along with badminton and lawn tennis. From the ancient game of tennis, it is also known as Gio de Pauno, real tennis, the court tennis for royal tennis. So the game was developed after the lawn tennis became popular in the 1880s. Okay, and then the ancient woodcut showing Geodepeme game published in 1576, ITTF Museum. The earliest surviving action game of table tennis table is a set of made by David Foster. It was patented in England in 1890s, number 11037. Parlor table games, which included the tables versions of lawn tennis, the cricket, and football. So the lawn tennis game featured strong racket, a 30 mm cloth, covered rubber ball, so a wooden fence set up around the perimeter of the table, and a large side nets extended along with both sides. So the lithograph segment, the earliest known action game of table tennis, is that David Foster, English 1890. So one of two known examples is that the Foster Rose Sound and Cambridge University by State Grant, USA. So the rules are very brief, unlike those for the campaign. Banya's games at table, cricket, and football. Then the note rule 3, which mentions the table tennis. And the Steve also discovered that Foster patented his game, Compendium, in Canada. The game manufacturers tried many experiments to market an indoor version of lawn tennis, so including board and dice games, fiddle die, and winged variations, card games, racket and balloon games, and others. The lawn tennis board game by Singer, USA. Another indication that sport was very popular in 1880s ITF Museum. So renowned researchers Alan Duke from England is recently discovered an English patent by Ralph Schlesinger, number 3156, dated on 26th of June 1883. So, and likely months developing the idea before filling the application for improve nets for games, and the patent described net post mechanism with this important statement. This arrangement is adapted for ordinary lawn tennis. So, and for the modified game to be played indoors, says, upon a billiard or dining table, in the later case of pools are supported and brackets clamped to table and ends of the cord, may be clamped by the cam arrangement or fastened under the table of weighted. Though correctly concludes that his quiet possibly is now the earliest known reference to the table version of tennis, and then the importantly accurately dated. So, however, no evidence has been found that such a game was developed at that time. So, Steve Grant the Ping Pong Fever 2012 USA found mention of one James Devonshire, an English, who Chan Request claimed invented table tennis in 1901. Interview published in the Echo. Subsequently, Alan Duke found in the official journal of the Patent Office that Devonshire applied for a patent on October 9, 1885 for his table tennis. So on the November 24, 1885 issue of the journal shows provisional specifications were accepted. In January 1887, the application is listed as abandoned. So once again, no evidence of Devonshire game nor advertisement has been found. Quite likely it was never pulled out into production. So one feasible scenario is that Jackets paid Devonshire for his idea. So ultimately becoming the basis for Jackets, Gosema released in 1891. However, the lengthy time factors is a concern as mentioned by renowned jacket authority Michael Thompson, or she's known as SCO. The 1887 catalog of George S. Parker in USA includes an entry for table tennis. So this game is laid out like a lawn tennis court, played and counted just the same. All the rules being observed. However, this was a board and dice game by the G.S. Singer in Europe from New York, and the host name also appeared in the on the catalog. Okay, so the rare board and dice game, table tennis by G.H. Singer in 1887, earliest productions use of that name table tennis. So the ITTF Museum. One year later, famous game makers Jackets of London released their Gosema game. This game borrowed the drum style battle battledores from the shuttlecock game. So and used as a 50 mm web wrap court ball. So with an amazing 30 centimeter height net that was secured with a belt strap under the table. So only two examples are known has survived. So the jackets from England, Gosema in 1891 with 50 mm ball. So 30 cm height net. So volume drums racket with white belt was used to secure the large wood with fixture to the table from the ITTF Museum. Neither of these action games were successful due to the ineffective ball. The rubber ball had to wild a bounce. So while the court ball had to pour a bounce, Jacket continued to advertise Gusema. So throughout the 1890s, but it was not until the 90s when the celluloid ball was introduced to the game that the concept of tennis on a table became successful. Steve Grant has traced the name ping pong to an 1884 song by Harry Ducker. So this distinct sound of the celluloid ball bouncing off the drum racket quickly led to the use of same name. This can be demonstrated today using the antique rackets. So as the name ping pong caught on Jackets, changed the name on his game to Gosema or ping pong. So and soon afterwards the ping pong or Gosema, ultimately the name Gosema was dropped. So the game quickly caught on the public with marketed under many different names. So, ping pong or Gusema, ping pong, table tennis, whip wap, parlor tennis, indoor tennis, pom pom, pim pam, Nito, Clip Club, Nito, Clip Club, Royal Game, and Tennis de Salon, and others. Gradually, the two more popular games prevailed, ping pong and table tennis. However, these completing names caused some problems. So, as two associations were formed and with different rules for the game, some confusion resulted. Ping pong was trademarked in 90s by Hamlet Brothers in England. As soon as afterward, Hamlet became jointly concerned with jackets. They rigorously enforced that ping pong trademark, requiring use the ping pong equipment in ping pong tournaments and clubs. Parker's brother, who acquired the American rights to the name ping pong, similarly enforced the trademark. Eventually, it became clear for the sport to move forward. The commercial ties had to be severed. So the timeline of table tennis and milestones, with the thanks to the late Ron Crichton from England and his book, Story of Table Tennis, the first 100 years updated by the ITTF Museum. So, in the 1880s, adaptation of lawn tennis to the dining table with improvised equipment. So, in 1883, 6.2, it was Schlesinger patent. Nets for games mentioned tennis on a table. In 1885, James Devon Shares from England granted provisional patent for his table tennis, abandoned in 1887. So, in 1890s, several patents registered in England and the USA. Earliest surviving action game of the table tennis. David Foster parlor table games in England in 1890s. So sets produced under trade names such as Buscema and the indoor tennis with lawn tennis style rules. In 90s, introduction of celluloid balls to replace rubber in cork ones. The the colloid ball had the perfect bounce. So, and the game became a huge success. In 1901, the Table Tennis Association and Rival Ping Pong Association formed in England. So, the amalgamated in 1903. So, the first book on the game published in England. The game is introduced in China via Western settlement and trade missions. So in 1904, ping pong graced spades from pockets of popularity in Eastern Europe continue. In 1922, revival of the game in England and Europe, though was varied, it was established and standard laws of the game in England. So in 1926, International Table Tennis Federation, or ITTF, which means International Table Tennis Federation, initiated in Berlin. The first World Championship helps held in London, England. The ITTF constitution adopted along with the first set of standardized laws. Ivor Montag, English, elected chairman in 1926. Okay? But in 1920s to 1950s, the classic hard bat era, European dominance. In 1926 to 1931, the Marla Madnyansky from HUN wins the World Championship 5 times, so consecutively. Madnyansky wins 18 gold medals overall. Wow. In 1930 to 1935, Victor Barna from UHN, sorry, become 5 times world champion. Barna wins a record of 22 gold medals and world championship during his career. So 40 medals overall. In 1936, 10th World Championship held in Prague, the Czechoslovakia. The longest rally took place, the first point taking over 2 hours due to pushing style play. So in 1937, lowering the net to 6 inches from, or it is 15.24 centimeters, encourage more attacking style and time limit imposed on matches. So both women singles finalists defaulted at the World Championship due to men understanding about time limit law. Ruth Aaron, USA from USA, and Trude Briggsy from AUT declared co-champions in 2001. So in 1939, first World Championship held outside Europe in Cairo, Egypt. So in 1940 to 1946, due to World War II, the ITTF suspended activities and no World Championship were held. So in 1943, the first Continental Federation founded on December 12, South American Confederation. So in 1947, ITTF resumes activity. World Championships held in Paris, but Richard Bergman from England is defending world singles champion, not allowed to participate by Montago due to Bergman accepting money for exhibition play during war years without official permission. So in 1950 to 1955, Angelica Rosiano or Adelstein from ROU wins the world championship 6 times in a row and the last non-ASEAN to win the famous singles title until today. 1950, Berman wins fourth world singles title. In 1950s, age of sponge, but technology beginning of ASEAN dominance. So, in 1952, the 19th World Championship held in Bombay. It's in India, the first to be staged in Asia. Japan entry for the international scene, Hiroji Sato, or from GPN, became the first player to win a world championship when using a racket covered with thick sponge and this first non-European winner. So, inauguration of ASEAN Federation and first Asian Federation Championship. Then 1953, China entered the World Championship for the first time. Thick sponge, but causes major controversies for the next several years. So in 1954, Ichiro Ogimura from Japan is epitome of Japanese dominance with technological development and physical training. In 1956, Tomoe Okada of Kawa from Japan again is the first female player from Asia to win the World Championship and stops the European reign on world's female table tennis. Okay, and 1957, the World Championship changes to a 2-year cycle. Then 1958, the first European Championships. Budapest, Hungary, and the USSR made the entry to the international scene. In 1959, Rong Gotaan from China is the first Chinese world champion in any sports racket standardization was enacted. In 1960, the first Paralympic Games in Rome included table tennis. Wow. In 1962, the first All-Africa Championship, Alexandria, Egypt. In 1967, the Ivor Montagu retires as president of the IBTF after 40 years in office. So, Weightlifting Club International founded Victor Barna president. In 1971, the first Commonwealth Championships held in Singapore. Ping pong diplomacy. The table tennis played an important role in international diplomacy when several teams were invented to China for a series of friendship and matches after the 1971 World Championship. The Chinese Premier Zhu Enlal. So your visit to China has opened the door for people exchanges between China and the USA. In 1971, Italian Binson from SWE wins the men's singles title and herald the start of 3 decades in Swedish influence with top players such as Gail Johans, Michael Appelgren, and Eric Lind, John Obe, Wald Orner, and Jordan Persson, and Peter Carson. In 1973, the first World Universe Championship held in Hanover, Germany. In 1977, the ITTF receives formal declaration of its recognition by the International Olympic Committee or IOC. Then 1979, the first European Championship for Paralympics wheelchair players held in Stoke Mandeville, England. In 1980s, first World Cup held in Hong Kong. In 1981, the World Championship held in Novi Sad, Yugoslavia. Total triumph for China, whose athletes win for all 7 gold medals. Table tennis admitted to the Olympic program in 84th season IOC, sorry. In 1982, the first World Veteran Championship held in Gothenburg, Sweden. So the first World Championship for the disabled held in Stoke Mandeville, England. So in 1985, the European Youth Championship held in The Hague, Holland. The modern Olympics era in Chinese reign with a few exceptions. So in 1988, for the first very time, table tennis was featured in Olympic Games held in Seoul, South Korea. In 1991, the United North and South Korea team won the Billion Cup at the World Championship in Chiba, Japan. So in 1992, the former world champion Jan O. Wildner from Sweden became Olympic singles champion and reputedly the first table tennis millionaire. So in 1995, World Championship held in Tianjin, China. Total triumph for China for the second time, winning 7 gold medals. Wow. In 1996, the beginning of ITTF World Tour with events taking place worldwide. And 2000, after the Olympic in Sydney, the ball size is increased to 40 mm for improved television view. In 2001, the game score changed from 21 to 11 points. World Championship held in Osaka, Japan. Total triumph for China for the third game, winning all the 7 gold medals. In 2002, implementation of the ITTF World Junior Circuit in U18 and the World Cadet Challenge U15 Continental Team Competition. In 2003, first ITTF World Junior Championship in Santiago, Chile. The team championship separated from individual events held in at alternate years. So in 2004, during the Olympic Games in Athens, table tennis ranked fifth among all the sports for television viewing audience. In 2005, World Championship held in Shanghai, China. So total triumph again for China, winning all over the 5 gold medals. In 2006, the World Championship held in Bremen, Germany. Chinese athletes complete the collections with 2 gold medals and the team events. In 2007, the World Championship held in Zagreb, Croatia. Total triumph number 5 for China, winning all the 5 gold medals. The first appearance table tennis as a compulsory sports at the Universiade in the Bangkok, Thailand. In 2008, China swept the team championship in Guangzhou, China, wins all the gold at the Beijing Olympic Games. So in 2010, the table tennis is part of the first Youth Olympic Games. In 2012, China wins world team gold at the gold medals at the London Olympic Games and 24 of the possible 28 golds in 7 Olympic Games. Version is Swedish and then Primora from CRO and then GM Save from DEL is participated in all 7 Olympic Games. So in 2016, plastic bowls used at the World Championship and Olympics, the Chinese again win all 4 Olympic gold medals and overall 28 and 32 Olympic golds since 1988. Again, thank you for watching, and those are the timeline history of table tennis. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you and goodbye.